I know it's kind of a little cheesy phrase, delegate to elevate, but it's true. Like if you continue doing everything in your gym, it is hard to elevate and move up and grow.
You need somebody who is going to either A, ask the questions, or B, they know enough about the industry.
Yep.
We have some systems in place for snow and ice closures.
Yep.
And it's not that just when the schools close, right? Because schools have built-in snow days. My profit does not have built-in snow days.
Well, you don't even go to this gym. Why are you commenting on this? You know, I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff, and it doesn't help the situation at all. So.
Welcome to Fireside Chat with the Johnsons. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Justin.
And we're the Johnsons.
Oh, hey, welcome.
We're here today with a good topic, but we start off every week.
Yeah, good news.
With good news.
So Danielle, why don't you start? What's your good news for this week?
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going out on the boat on Saturday.
Yes.
And going out on the lake. It has been kind of like fake fall here in Missouri. And so it hasn't really been hot enough to go to the lake. And now it is finally hot enough. And I did not think 3 weeks ago I would ever be thanking anybody for it being 100 degrees.
But when you're on the lake, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
As long as the water's cool, you're good. So anyways, we're going to go do a little boating. So that's my good news is our foreign exchange students never had any of my smoked ribs. So I'm going to be smoking some ribs on Sunday. And so anyways, I'm going to pull out the old pit boss and do a little smoking. So. Yeah.
And both tonight, which you'll see like game day shirt, both tonight and Monday night, we have football games.
Yes.
Tonight, the high school football game. It's one of those funny things because it's like we're going against our rivals.
Yeah.
Like the kids are so excited because apparently we hate our rivals.
Oh, yeah. You have to hate your rivals.
I mean, you have friends at the other school, but you hate your rivals.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a fun night.
So,
hopefully,
it'll be a good time.
Hopefully not too hot tonight. But yeah.
As our foreign exchange student says, it's a just like the movies. It's going to be just like the movies tonight.
High school football is the American dream.
Oh, yeah.
So,
All right.
Cool. All right. Well, guys, this week we are here to talk delegate to elevate, maximize growth in your gym.
Yeah, it's kind of a takeoff from last week's topic. So what should a business owner be doing? So feel free to
Did I throw you off?
Yeah, feel free to crack a drink. That was touche. That's normally what I'm doing to her.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And
I can see how that's not distracting at all. But what kind of jobs should you be doing as a business owner? Which ones are you doing right now that maybe you should be delegating so you can elevate?
Yeah.
And I know it's kind of a little cheesy phrase, delegate to elevate, but it's true. Like if you continue doing everything in your gym, it is hard to elevate and move up and grow. So, yeah.
And, on the opposite end, if you're doing the small tasks in your gym.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
If you're doing the small tasks in your gym, but, you're leaving the biggest things to people who really don't know your business, like, does that also help you? So we'll talk about what should owners be doing versus employees.
Yep.
All right.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So first off, I like to think of Justin as a visionary. Sometimes he's throwing darts and things stick and they hit the target, and sometimes they hit the wall. Not quite the dartboard. And why? Because Justin is a visionary.
Yeah, I think all my ideas are really good, to be honest, but other people don't agree sometimes. So that's too bad for them. But,
boy, do we miss out.
Yeah, you really miss out on a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. So as the owner of a company, a cheer gym specifically here, you should be the visionary. You are the one setting the path for the future for the gym itself.
Yep.
Within that includes things like doing strategic planning. Should we explain what strategic planning is? Okay.
High level stuff. High level.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So strategic planning would be, think about those long-term goals that you set. Maybe you want to buy your own building. You want to hire a full-time staff member. Whatever those goals are, you can't just do small tasks today to get to those goals. You have to do small tasks today that lead to a step toward the goal.
Yep.
Right? It's not
bigger steps. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't just make a to-do list that's like how to buy a building.
The end of this year, we're going to buy a building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So strategic planning helps you get there. It helps you reach those like 3, 5, 10-year goals. And there are times that like we work toward a goal and then we're like, okay, this is not going to be the right fit. And we see that now.
Right.
But strategic planning is never wasted efforts because you're always getting farther into your business and you're always growing in one way or another, whether it's growing by figuring out, okay, this is not really what I want to be doing 10 years from now, or you're growing because you're actually getting closer to that goal that you set and you realize that is the right goal for you.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that staff isn't helping you with those strategic priorities because they are absolutely, I mean, there's no way to get to those goals without them. So, but along the way, you need to be setting the tone of what is the goal.
Yeah.
And then get the team motivated. It's your job to get them motivated and get them on board and show them the steps that they can help to take to get to that point, which may be in this case, talking about hiring them full time. So how cool is that to go, hey, I want you to be full time in the future. Right now you're part time. How cool would it be to work here all the time? So
how cool would it be to work at this gym all the time? Let me tell you. Also,
you made that sound bad.
No, I'm kidding. No, I know, I'm kidding.
The neatest thing about owning your own business and running it is why not make it fun? Why does Google get to have all the fun at their places? Why do some of these companies that like, what's another one that we went to recently?
Amazon.
Not Amazon. It's the one with the shoes.
Zappos.
Why does Zappos get to have all the fun? We literally went to that one and they had a ball pit for adults in the lobby of their place where they work. Like, who does that? Who does
Pinball
that?
machines, mini putt, cornhole, all kinds of fun stuff.
They had fun stuff. But anyways, that's the coolest thing about having your own business is why be the same as everybody else and be like the 9 to 5, okay, I'm out of here. You know, I live for the weekends. No, you can make it cool during the week. So anyways.
Within that vision, also, you're the one setting the mission for your gym. Is your mission to win Summit, Worlds, All-Star Worlds, whatever, or is your mission to empower kids, develop, leaders among youth? Like, are you there to help the kids in your community? And you are the one setting that mission, and then you're leading the leaders within the staff, right? That all of that together builds your brand.
And the big thing with a lot of this as an owner is you're constantly having to remind people like, hey, this is our mission. As we make decisions, we look at it through the vision, through your vision. Does it align with your mission? Does it align with your vision? So those are really important as an owner. So
yeah. Yep. And it doesn't mean that staff can't contribute to those. I think that your staff sometimes, maybe you're not a visionary. Maybe you're very like operationally focused and type A. Your staff can contribute to the vision and kind of give you the ideas, but at the end of the day, it has to be something that aligns with what you as the owner love and hoped for and are passionate about. Somebody can't come to me and say, I want to start karate in Twisters. Like, I don't know that I see that as the vision for the company moving forward. Might be a great idea, but it has to align with whatever the vision is.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And big thing on that, those do change over time. So just because you have a vision right now that in 5 years you want to be something, 3 years from now you may deviate because it may be economy, it could be new laws, things change, fads change, different things that you do in your gym may change, and you'll have to modify and pivot. I had to actually, just like Friends, I had to move a couch up a flight of stairs the other day, and I couldn't wait. I started lifting this thing up, and I was going up the stairs, and I was like, pivot, like all the way around. And the two dudes that were helping, so busted up laughing.
They actually knew what you were talking about?
They all were yelling pivot the whole time. It was funny. So,
that is funny.
All right, that was a little squirrel.
Little cult classic for you.
Squirrel. All right.
Okay, number 2 thing that owners should be doing.
Yes.
Finances.
Yep.
And I don't necessarily mean every bit of the finances. It doesn't mean somebody comes to buy a snack or pay tuition and you as the owner have to be the one to collect the money.
You got the iron fist of finances.
Yeah.
Nope. Stop. that is my 50 cents. I will put it. No,
that's right. No, but you as the owner really should be the one defining the budget. So maybe you are in an area where you have different programs and you have gymnastics and cheer and preschool and stuff like that. And you want to define the budget for those, and then you're going to pass them on. When we do big events, a lot of times Justin is given a budget.
Yes. To break, but that's okay. But typically I don't break it. What I do is I ask for $5,000 when I really want $1,000. So this is
and then
good.
We give him $1,500 because we think that
this is good for those husbands out there. Like, this is a good tactic. It's worked out really well. But I usually ask for a lot more, and then they're like, what I really want's $1,000. And then, like she said, sometimes she'll be like, all right, how about $1,500? And I'm like, wow.
And then he spends $2,000 anyway. So we just give him less than we think he actually wanted.
Score.
So if you have people who are running certain areas, you don't have to know, we need to buy gym chalk this week. We need to buy, whatever. Yeah. You just need to be able to set the budget for the company into those different departments. Maybe you are still in your first couple years of owning a gym. You don't have those key leaders yet, or you've done this for 30 years and you don't have those key leaders. Maybe then you're setting the budget more specifically, line item budget. But the point here is that you're not just giving somebody like willy-nilly
a blank check.
A blank check.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have accountability over that stuff.
Right. And it could be that your staff member is in charge of a department or doing something, and they already kind of have a budget, but at least it's something that they can give you, and you're going to basically look it over and make sure that it works for the budget that you have.
Yeah. Actually, I recommend that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really teaches your staff big picture if they have to propose a budget to you.
Oh, absolutely. And then on top of that, it gives you an idea of year to year over time, like what the budget, because uniforms go up a little bit in price, or maybe we found a new vendor. It gives you opportunity to do some input and a little bit of training too with staff. So
yeah. For sure. Next one would be taxes. Please don't let anybody else be in charge of your taxes. Don't do it. Well,
somebody else is in charge of taxes. What are you talking about?
The IRS.
Like,
no,
I was like,
CPA. No, I get that. But make sure. Okay, so
cousin Eddie's not doing them anymore.
Yeah, here's where I'm coming from. I have an owner that I worked with not too long ago who had a friend who was a CPA who was filing her taxes and found out the friend had not filed taxes for the last 4 years. And it just sort of slipped the owner's mind because she's like, well, this person's been doing it for me. So at the end of the day, guys, your CPA is not going to jail if you don't pay taxes. You are.
It's time to pay your taxes to the Treasury.
So at a minimum, you as the owner should know, every quarter I'm responsible for paying sales tax. Every year I'm responsible for paying my income tax. Every quarter, I'm responsible for paying employer withholding. And I use those time frames cautiously because it's based off of what you owe. Right. So, you could be paying it annually one year, and the next year the IRS like, hey, you pay enough now that we want it quarterly. We want our money sooner. So the point here is that you have a sense of control over the taxes to the point where I should be signing that check once a quarter. I'm watching the money come out of the account. They actually received the check. You should have good oversight over those things.
Well, another thing too with just being hands-on with taxes is taxes kind of dictate how you operate a little bit. You don't want 1,000 line items. So if you can put all line items for this specific thing under one category, it helps out the accountant a lot more, which helps out your bill. So
bill with the accountant,
and especially if it's a monthly bill that you're paying to the accountant to keep your books up, you start finding ways to help and save at the same time. So
yeah. Yep. I also should say we had a different accountant in the first 6 months of owning our gym. And when I was going through, the person had reconciled stuff for us. And when I was going through it, they had America's Best, which those of us in cheer know is a big cheer competition. They had that lined out as a hotel, and hotels do not have the same tax benefits depending what the purpose is.
Yep.
As actually paying a competition. So you need somebody who is going to either A, ask the questions, or B, they know enough about the industry.
Yep.
And that's the reason that NextGen has partnered with Teresa Colster, one of our preferred partners, because we want somebody who, if you say that you bought, something for the gym, that they know what kind of write-off that should be.
And why do we have one specific CPA that we work with or an accountant? We trained her. We literally have had her read some books that we had read, that we started modifying how we did finances all the way down to the way that a cheer gym actually runs. So we've kind of schooled her a lot in the specific, because I hate to say it, but everybody says that they're a unicorn, but cheer is very much a unicorn. And unless you speak the language and you know all the specifics about it, it's really hard to understand the lingo and what's going on. So it's not a normal food franchise where you serve food, you sell food, you serve food, it's not like that. It's different. We have seasons, we have different aspects to the career. So, or not career, so I don't even know.
To the industry.
To the industry. Yeah.
The other thing, you guys, is if you have somebody who is, I wouldn't say, she only does cheer, but gosh, they do a lot of cheer gyms taxes these days. If I ask a question and say, hey, is this a tax write-off? And she says, actually it is. Well, now not only can I go educate you guys and tell you, hey, make sure that you're talking to your CPA that this is a write-off. But if you're with that preferred partner, that CPA, she's going to come back to you and say, hey, I want to make sure that if you're doing this, you're letting me know, because that's a write-off for you. Right. So you're getting a more educated CPA, because who wants to give Uncle Sam any more money than you absolutely have to?
Yep.
Not me. Okay. Profit decisions, all profit decisions should honestly be made by the owner. Are you willing to take a 5% profit margin, or do you want a 50% profit margin on something? Yeah,
that's not something you want staff to be making a decision on, because that one cuts immediately. That's directly, hey, are we selling these shirts because they're a week old now, half off? Right. Well, now we're breaking even on those. So no. Yeah. Also, I don't know. Yeah. Just throwing out an idea, but.
Also accountability when it comes to the cash that's coming in. Guys, as the owner, you don't have to be the one making the deposits of cash, but you do have to have a cash accountability system, and you should be checking that on a regular basis. So if, your gym brought in $1,000 of cash that week, gosh, there should be $1,000 or $1,000 minus the receipts of things that were purchased in cash that's getting deposited. So you as the owner are ultimately responsible for making sure people aren't getting overpaid because they're submitting payroll for you. Your taxes are getting done, that cash is getting deposited, and you don't have to be the one to do it. You just have to be the one to have the accountability systems in place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Number 3, product development. You as the owner should be creating new products, troubleshooting or overhauling products that aren't working. When I say products, yes, I mean Pro Shop and subscription box or item of the month, whatever you're doing, but also services.
Yep.
Like the birthday parties.
The programs.
The programs in the gym.
Yep.
Right? It's your job to make sure that major stuff is being taken care of and being executed well, because at the end of the day, that's your brand and reputation.
Right.
Your employees might leave and go get a new job, but you are responsible for your brand and reputation.
Almost like a little bit of a floater.
Yeah.
Kind of watching and overseeing, but not having to do it.
Yeah.
Day in and day out. Yeah.
We say floater because we have somebody who would be out on the floor during, when we have a lot of tumbling classes going at the same time. Yep. There should be somebody who is kind of just observing and saying, okay, is everything going well? That kid, is doing a back bend on the wedge and they're falling on their head. I need to go fix that. I need to go make sure this is the right station for this kid and stuff like that.
Right.
Right. Okay. Number 4, key relations.
Yes.
So those relationships within the community.
Yep.
And on top of that, the ones within the industry. If you go to a conference, it's really cool if your coach is meeting other coaches, but you as an owner, to meet other owners, you're going to expand your gym and you're going to grow your gym in a way more efficient way because you're not inventing the wheel.
Well, and you're hanging out with like-minded people. Mm-hmm. And so it keeps you motivated. It keeps you intrigued, gives you new ideas. What are they doing at their gym compared to what we're doing at our gym? You find a lot of networking, and that's vital in this business because too many people feel like an island and nobody understands what they're going through. And that's a terrible feeling, and it's a terrible place to be. So,
yeah. Well, and let's be real, you're going to have a couple of customers, or maybe you've even got those celebrity coaches in your gym. Like, you're going to have some people who might be more influential, or people who've been at your gym for 10 years or since the day you opened, that are going to be extremely loyal. You know, those are relationships. While I would say that an employee should deal with day-to-day customer service, those are relationships that it's important that the owner maintains.
yep.
So key relations is number 4.
Yep. Number 5 is crisis management.
Yeah. So this is going to be anytime, you're threatened with a lawsuit. Anytime there's, tornadoes hit gyms, hurricanes hit gyms, anytime there's a natural disaster, a major injury.
Yep.
A huge mistake.
Now, you're not talking about warnings.
Yeah,
or
no, not warnings, though you should have a system in place.
An email comes in.
Right.
You can still have people buffering your emails.
Right.
But when that lawsuit one comes through, obviously that one gets forwarded right to you.
Yeah.
But, or stuff like that. But a warning, you should, like a storm warning or something, you should have already systems in place of what you do. Who do you contact? Are you going to, I don't know. What would you say about closing the gym? At what point is that something that a staff member would do or an owner would do?
Yeah, that's
kind of a bigger one.
That is a bigger one. We have some systems in place for snow and ice closures.
Yep.
And it's not that just when the schools close, right? Because schools have built-in snow days. My profit does not have built-in snow days. So
that's a good point. I like that one.
Yeah. You're not a tax-funded entity. So you have to be a little bit different than what the schools do. That said, if you can get the systems in place because maybe you get snow enough that you're like, okay, anything over 4 inches is going to be a problem for us. That's Missouri. When I lived in Chicago, it was like anything over 10 inches is kind of a problem.
Right.
But, or hurricane, like if Category 3 is headed your way, gosh, your staff should know that's a problem.
Right.
So it's those big crisis management things. What about like allegations? And I hate to even talk about it, but that's reality.
Yeah.
Nobody in your gym should be dealing with, a situation where there's maybe an allegation of something that went wrong, that it was illegal and harmful.
Yep.
Nobody should be dealing with that, but you as the owner.
Yeah. And legal stuff too. Like, the police are wanting, footage from your camera system, those types of things. That shouldn't be left up to, a staff
16-year-old.
member. Yeah. Or a 16-year-old or like the 17-year-old at the front desk being like, cops, okay, you can have here's this stuff.
Yeah.
Here's our room. You can have everything. And, no, they should be calling. That should be an owner coming down there and asking some questions. So,
yeah. Well, and on top of that, somebody who has owned a business for a while, the idea of an attorney helping you or doing something or getting a phone call or a letter from an attorney, really, if it's your attorney, it shouldn't scare you. Mm. But if somebody walks in and says, I'm an attorney for so-and-so, I need to speak with the owner, like that's going to scare a staff member. Mm-hmm. Like the police might come in and say, I need to speak with this person. That is going to scare a staff member where they shouldn't be handling those situations anyway.
Right. I mean, a little bit common sense on some of this stuff, but
you would think it is, but I just think people get freaked out easily.
Yeah.
And the owner will have more wisdom, more experience in these areas. If not right away, then over time, things that don't make you panic quite as much.
So what about stuff that affects reputation, like bigger items?
I think, most cheer gyms don't have a PR person, which is really like I did PR for the Air Force. And yeah, it's your job to make sure the reputation of the Air Force is managed with whatever's happening within the mission. Cheer gyms are not going to have that. Mm-hmm. So really, it's going to probably have to come down to the owner as the only person that would have that kind of experience. Now,
online reputation, somebody blasts you online and stuff. There should be something that you have for your, whoever's doing your social media should have some basic verbiage that how you respond to those.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be somebody blowing up back online.
Right.
Well, you don't even go to this gym. Why are you commenting on this? I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff, and it doesn't help the situation at all. So yeah. I don't know why I went that direction, but it happens a lot. Yeah.
A well-trained social media person should know what to do in those situations. And if they don't, because maybe they are someone who grew up in your gym and they're just naturally very good at social media, You almost have to teach them the PR side of things, because you're not going to have in your gym most of the time a marketing person, a PR person, a copywriter, a graphic designer. Like, one person will usually fill all of those boxes for people.
And thus the reason for networking, because when you network with other people that have, maybe older gyms and stuff like that, they've already been through a lot of that. So it's nice to network.
So we talked about 5 things an owner should be in charge of. Let's switch gears for a second and talk about the things that we believe an employee should be responsible for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Number 1 is daily operations, whether it's schedules, staff, what's going on that day, upkeep of the gym,
basic equipment,
basic equipment, events, the execution of events, and making sure that they're filled, that they're run correctly, and that there's maybe even after action report done afterwards. Mm-hmm. Basically a lot of the day to day should be, that's definitely where the staff jumps in, helps out. If you're not having to do those day to day, you can be more on the creative side, and also watching to make sure that those classes, those camps, clinics, all those things are being run right. Doesn't mean you have to be standing there watching like, oh, I don't like the way Jenny's standing right now. Look at, she's got to change her face. That doesn't look happy, stuff like that.
Sometimes that is the owner.
Yeah. Right? I mean, sometimes, but, overall, just making sure that you got positive feedback from the attendees that the class was filled. How much, was it profitable? Was it not profitable? 6 people didn't show up to it. So now it was like they paid. Now they're wanting refunds, stuff like that. Like, those things need to be watched.
So I feel like there's like 3 stages of business. In the beginning, you are both the owner, the coach, the janitor, the everybody. Yep. And in that stage, you're going to be doing both the owner tasks and the employee tasks. But I'm going to be honest, you're kind of an employee in the beginning. You don't have time to cast the vision. You don't have people to cast it to. Right. You don't have time to really sit back and think about the like core values and the culture. It's in the second stage of business, when you have a couple of employees that you're really starting to say, okay, these lower level tasks really need to be moved to an employee. I need someone who can manage billing. I need someone who can put new registrations in the system and deal with, teaching the classes, writing curriculum, stuff like that. It's that third stage of business that often you're going to see a middle layer of management come in. And maybe they are then the ones that are observing the classes and saying, okay, things look like they're going well. And then it gives you as the owner some freedom to hop back into the things that you might really enjoy, like doing more coaching, or maybe you love social media.
Yeah. I really like the way you described the three stages, because that's absolutely how it works. So it kind of gives you guys an idea, like, where am I at in my stage of business? Am I at the beginning where I'm doing all the things? Or do I have some people that are working for me now, and I'm starting to pull myself out of some of the lower level, day-to-day jobs? Or do I have middle management now? Would you call middle management more full-time people?
I think a lot of times it is. I think it's hard to execute a lot of those tasks if you are only working 8 to 10 hours a week.
Yep.
That's really hard, because a lot of times you're in charge of staff training, you're having to call parents back during the day, stuff like that. It definitely makes it hard.
Yep.
And there's no secret here. We run the Next Gen Academy. Justin, when you're talking to an owner and you're seeing that they do everything in their business and they don't have any coaches, they're often not ready for the academy at that stage, right?
No.
Because taking on more is so hard at that stage. You almost have to just become profitable enough that you can hire somebody and be okay with breaking even again for just a little bit, until that person is kind of helping you make money, and then you get profitable again, and then you hire somebody else. And it sounds like it's like this vicious cycle where you're never profitable.
It's a little bit of a roller coaster, but because you go profit, because I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
And then I hire people.
Small dip. But then they better be making you money again.
Yeah. And if they're doing their job right and you've trained them right, they're going to make you even more money, because now you can get twice the people in there. And so now you go back up again, and then you're going to hire again and hopefully get to that full-time people. Full-time people really shoot you up.
Yeah. So, and it's at that second stage of business that we find a lot of people are ready for the academy, because now they're trying to say, okay, I am an owner. I have coaches. How do I train these coaches to take things off my plate? How do I continue hiring people that are going to be the right fit to take things off my plate? Right. And now how do I write the systems and implement the systems so that things are actually taken off my plate and these aren't just, glorified greeters at my door.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Second part of this that an employee should be doing
is marketing and sales.
Marketing and sales.
Yep.
So when it comes to marketing and sales, guys, if you love sales, it's going to be hard to pull yourself out of it. Yep. I wouldn't say the average cheer gym owner loves sales at first, right? Because it feels, you think sales and you're like, oh, that's sleazy, but it's not. If you believe in a product or you believe in a service, sales is easy.
Yeah. I actually do sales for Next Gen when people are looking at joining the academy. And it actually is really easy to talk about because I know it works. And so if you're really, really motivated and positive about what your product does for people, it's really not hard to sell it. I mean, I hate to use the word Cadillac because I don't think a lot of people, it's not the car it used to be, but there's a lot of great cars out there now. But if you have the Cadillac of services in town, or you feel like you're serving a Cadillac to people, it's really not hard to describe, the benefits of it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's super comfortable. This is I mean, I probably went too far with all that, but.
No, I think it's good. And I think in your gym, you're going to find that maybe a coach isn't the right person to sell somebody on private lessons when they're currently paying $100 a month for classes versus $200 a month for private lessons. Maybe a coach isn't the right person to do that, but maybe you have great front desk people who believe in the product. They've seen what kids can do with private lessons. They've seen the benefits and the value that people are getting out of them. And so they're the right person to do the sales.
Yeah.
But you as the owner do not always have to be the person doing that, nor do you have to be the person marketing. You simply need to have the processes in place to market this event. Here is my general checklist of everything that needs to be done. Here's how I want graphics to look. Here's, my gosh, Connect 3 graphic templates, right? And then it makes it so easy to systemize that out for somebody else to do it.
Now, we're not saying that you must quit doing what you enjoy doing in your gym.
Right.
We're not saying that. But at the same time, you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Staying in your comfort zone and never getting educated and smart on, maybe coaching when you just really like marketing. I don't want to have anything to do with coaching. I'm just a mom that bought a gym. I'm just throwing out some stuff that I've seen when I'm talking to people, but I'm a mom that bought a gym. I don't know anything about coaching, but I'm really good at marketing. So I'm just going to stay in my lane and I'm just going to hire people to do this stuff. It's a bad idea. So get out of your comfort zone, learn what the coaches are coaching, find out what the rules are that they're coaching to, and, go to some of these classes and learn that stuff. So at least you have an idea what's going on, and maybe let marketing go, train somebody up and have them do that for a while, because you want to get to that third level of business where now the gym's kind of running on its own. You can now go back and say, you know what, I really miss marketing, and that's my 5% in life. That's what I want to do. And so you can have, now you've got the coaching going, rocking and rolling over here, and you can go back and spend more time being creative still in the gym, but you can still do what you really enjoy.
Or you're like me, where I don't like the day-to-day marketing and implementing it, but I like the strategy.
Yeah.
Right. I'm kind of back in that role this season with All-Star, and I would put All-Star over on the employee side. 99% of your All-Star program can be run by an employee. Why am I doing it? Because we're like in the third stage of business, and right now I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm enjoying picking out, bows for the season. I'm enjoying ordering music. I enjoy those things, and I have the time to do them again. But for a lot of years in there, I didn't have the time to do them, and it wasn't the best use of my time.
True.
So, okay, number 3, and it's going to sound like, oh man, owners have 5 things they should be doing and employees have 3. No. The things the employees are doing they're often repetitive tasks. They are dealing more with customers. Yeah. And so it's the
front line.
Yeah.
Front line.
So even though owners have 5 and employees have 3, you're going to need a lot more employees to take care of these tasks than, 1 or 2 owners over on the other side.
Yeah.
The third thing that employees should be doing is client success.
Yep.
Okay.
What the heck is client success?
What is it?
Yeah.
It's making sure the classes are being run well. Your curriculum makes sense. We're going through a review of curriculum right now saying, do we need them to have a bad side back walkover so that they can move on to a handspring? Not really. Now, I might get the YouTube comments there saying, no, you should because of this. Feel free to send it my way if you have some good feedback there. But that's our thing that we can work with our employees because they can become the experts in those areas. Right? The employees are the ones answering the phones, answering the emails. Somebody walks in during the day, the employees can be the ones to communicate with them.
Yeah. You got new people that just attended class. They can be the ones following up with those people. Right. You know, it just depends on how your systems are built for that kind of stuff. But they can be doing the emails, the messages, the phones, a lot of those things. And obviously you run into, okay, we come back to a legal issue or a lawyer or anything that's a lot larger, then they move that on to you.
Right.
Which that frees up your time because instead of answering all the phones and all the emails, you shouldn't be doing that as an owner.
Right.
Yeah.
You almost have to think, what do these bigger companies do? If I go to Walmart and I just need to make a return.
You want to use Walmart?
Not really, but
okay. But it is one of the bigger companies.
But I feel prepared in this one.
Yeah.
Not that I know how to make a return at Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm not capable. Stuff has been sitting in my car for a month that I need to return.
She does. She makes like
it's just piling up at this point. But let's say I go to Walmart and I need to make a return. The employee at Walmart can help me with the return. If something happens, I'm past oh my gosh, there's probably a deadline to return things.
Yeah, there probably is.
I'm past that. I don't have a receipt. It's something out of the ordinary, right? Like maybe those are bad examples, but something out of the ordinary.
No, if you go past the deadline, the owner will walk up, the manager.
Oh, get out. Oh,
Walmart,
yeah.
And you have to put your hand out and they're like, stop it now. Give her a receipt. Yeah,
exactly.
They slap your hand.
Exactly. Yeah. Sam Walton's going to walk up. No.
He's actually not alive anymore, but that's okay.
Well, that would be really weird if he walks up to you.
I think his kids own it now. But
yeah. So, but the employee is going to at one point elevate that to a manager. And in your gym, that might be elevating it to a director, or maybe you have a general manager. From time to time, and I mean not super often, it might get its way to the store manager or to the district manager or even to corporate, right? There are going to be times that stuff like that's going to happen. And in this situation, because Walmart's such a big example, corporate is sort of like the owner there. So just think about, if you are corporate and you're handling every return, you can't handle the bigger picture of things.
Right.
So there's a couple exceptions here.
Okay, go ahead.
I felt like they were necessary to say because, well, I am the first and current all-star director again. And so there's a bit of a do what you love trade-off.
Yep.
I feel like I can continue to be the all-star director because I love it right now. But if at any point I don't love it, if at any point things in the gym start going south and my focus needs to be on, other things, like I have to be willing to give that up right now. And you just have to know that as the owner. You can do what you love in that second and third stage of business, provided that nothing else is falling off the truck.
Yes. Falling off the wagon.
Oh, is it off the wagon?
Yeah, it's not off the truck.
I thought that's when you stop drinking.
It is. All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Number 2 would be, it's nice to say hire and outsource people to do these things, but like our marketing position's been open for a while because
buy back your time.
Yeah, buy back your time. Yeah. So in a perfect world, you are hiring and outsourcing for these things. In a reality, it can be really hard in your area.
Yep.
So while you want to have this perfect organizational chart where, a pro shop person is just a pro shop person, you may have areas where you're kind of all over the place on an organizational chart and you're having to rein it in.
It is interesting creating that organizational chart and having all the positions. And even if you have to put your name in all of them, that's another vision, like how do I want this business to be in the future? And so these are the positions I need to hire. How much do I have to pay these people? You kind of start working. That's part of that strategy you build into your business. So anyways, I know I'm deviating back.
No, it's true because you definitely don't want to build that organizational chart for today.
Yep.
Like your gym may have 60 kids in it and your organizational chart today is very different than what you want it to be in the future.
Absolutely.
And especially as you grow, when you get 300, 350 kids, your organizational chart should look very different. And so you have to build that for the future. And maybe your name is in 95% of the boxes. That's okay.
When we first started our gym, our goal was 300 kids. And then it went bigger. Then what do? Well, you got to redo your goals again.
Yeah.
So anyways, and then moving to 500 kids, how big could your gym be?
Right.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. It's really as big as you would like it to be, really.
Yeah. And those organizational charts really, like, they change too based off of certain things. So when we bought a building, we now needed to look at facility maintenance and outdoor maintenance and equipment inspection and stuff like that. And if we had just built it to the now, Justin would still be mowing the lawn every Friday.
Yeah.
Mowing 8 acres of grass, taking 3 hours, that would still be on him.
Less grass, more time. If I could grow if I could mow 8 acres in 3 hours, man, I'd be like, I mean.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it takes longer than that?
Yeah, it's longer. Well, with weed eating too, but I don't.
Oh, right.
I don't mow all 8 acres because a lot of it's parking. So, anyways.
Right.
But so you get the idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the point of that, if we were to build it to 2016, before we had our building, it would be a very different chart. You almost have to build it to what is the dream, what's the goal and the vision for the business.
Correct.
Build that org chart to that. And then it's easier to close boxes off than it is to add them on and say, oh my gosh, I either have to hire somebody or I have to take on something new.
Now I have another position to put on it. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
The third exception that I have on here is it takes time to get to these stages.
Yep.
So if you're in the first stage and you're like, man, I've been in this first stage for a while now, pick up the Cheer Gym Owner's Handbook, listen to these fireside chats or watch them.
Or watch this show.
Listen to the Cheer Biz podcast, read the blogs, use the free resources because those free resources will get you to stage 2.
Now, this one's not exactly free, but it is $17 on Amazon. But here's the deal. There's a wealth of knowledge in here on how to run your gym in a book. And if you don't like reading it, then, listen to it on, Audible. But
you can listen to my voice for
I've
5
talked
hours.
to so many people that have just read the book or just listened to this and or just listened to this show here and have implemented the things that we've talked about or the things that they've heard and have grown substantially just from that. So there's a lot of we actually run gyms. We actually talk to a lot of people about how to run gyms. Yeah. So the knowledge that we're giving you isn't this is a good idea. This might be a good idea, Danielle. Let's try this.
Just might be.
No, we have tried all this stuff in our gyms, and we're telling you stuff that actually works.
Yeah.
You might have to tweak it a little bit for what you're doing in your area. Maybe the economy's a little different, or some of the activities that the kids are interested in your area are a little different. But most of the time, it's very similar. So
yeah. Well, and also, while it's not free, you have things like conferences. Next Gen now hosts a conference on the East Coast, West Coast, and middle of the country annually. So is it going to cost you money to attend a conference? Yes, but maybe that's the kickstart you need, the investment that you need to make from the middle stage from stage 1 to stage 2 in your business.
Yep.
And when you get to stage 2 and you're like, okay, I have employees, they're making me money, or I have employees, they're not making me money. It's worth it to invest and to figure out how do they make me money?
Or many, many times that's happening right now is I started a gym and it's growing so quickly. I need systems. I need to put something together. Right. I need help. I went from, 50 kids to 300 kids and I'm drowning. I'm doing everything. So,
boy, do you hear that a lot?
A lot. Yeah. That it's so cool to hear.
We've been there.
Yeah. At the same time, it's scary because it's you're like that guy with all the plates.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to balance them all. So
yeah, for sure. So, an exception to all of that is 1, it takes time. And 2, you've got to look at your return on your investment.
Yep.
You have to invest into things that are going to give you a return. I'm going to be really honest, as much as it warms my heart to get new equipment takes forever to give you a return on your investment. It takes forever. So it's interesting to me how easily gym owners who can't afford new employees, they can't afford to invest in their marketing, can suddenly afford a new tumble track, right? Because they think that's going to make them a ton of money because now all these kids can tumble on a tumble track. No, friends, that's one station. That's one station in a tumbling class per night. There's going to be, 50 kids benefit from that if you have a very big, powerful gym, 50 kids benefit from that in one night.
Yep.
Whereas, marketing is going to have a way farther reach. So, and then the last one is like, we talked about these tasks that are entrepreneurial tasks and these day-to-day tasks. Sometimes they will blend, right? If you decide that you are going to go be part of the Chamber of Commerce because that's part of building your key relations with people in the community. Well, sometimes that now becomes a day-to-day task because you're going to volunteer, you're going to do things, and that's okay. We just need to be careful as owners about taking on too many day-to-day tasks because you lose the vision and big picture and the opportunity to create and troubleshoot and find the problems in your business. Okay, so join us next week on Fireside Chat with the Johnstons because we are going to talk about what happens when you have employees in your gym who are good, but not great. And you want them to elevate to that next level of greatness where they're helping you in the gym and they're helping you grow the gym. And quite honestly,
motivated. Yeah.
They're motivated.
They're excited.
And they don't need you to stand behind them and tell them what to do the whole time.
Yeah. We might get into the different generations, Gen X versus Gen Z.
Good idea.
That would be good.
Good idea. You've got 2 different generations right here. So we can speak to our own.
That's a visionary right there. I have ideas and I got 2 good ideas right there in a row. Boom. Today's the day. I'm going to go get a lotto ticket.
I mean, I'm your wife, so I kind of hope you do that. And I hope you win.
Yeah, probably not though.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode of Fireside Chat with the Johnstons. We will see you next week.
All right. See ya.
I'll see you next week at our usual time.
Hey guys, make sure that you get registered for the Next Gen one-day business builder event in the Mile High City.
Where's that at? That's in Denver, Colorado,
That's right.
right here. September 26th. Go to ngconferences.com to sign up today.